Sir, will this Indo-Taliban relationship, I'm emphasizing Taliban, will this Indo-Taliban relationship last?
It's like this. As of now, Taliban is in power in Afghanistan. Um, Now, it is possible that they might be overthrown tomorrow. My view is that deal with those who are in power, and if they get overthrown, to engage with the new ones. It's not a question of how long they are going to be there or not. And while they are there, you know something, when we were sort of taking the attitude that Taliban is untouchable, okay? Russia and China, they got together and they worked with Taliban, or let me put it this way, in my way. They worked with those who are in power in Afghanistan, and they started exploiting the mineral resources. Now, the mineral resources in Afghanistan, according to the American Geological Survey, can be valued at anything between 1.5 to 3 trillion dollars. And that includes rare earths, lithium, and many others, rare earths. And China is exploiting it. Now, the foreign minister from Afghanistan who came said, we invite India to do that. Yes, good idea. But, as a matter of fact, China has taken over the better minds. You know what I mean? So we are not going to get the best mind. So what I mean is that, it's a question of have a diplomatic principle of being always engaging with those who are in power. America did the mistake with the Soviet Union. It was under Roosevelt in 1933. You can calculate how many years after, the revolution, that America recognized the regime, or rather Soviet Union. And again, with China, America made the mistake. 1949 October, when China stood up, as Mao Zedong put it, and Nehru told Truman, talk to them. Well, Truman didn't listen. Then years later, Nixon corrected it. So this non-engagement with a particular government because we don't like what their ideology, that is wrong approach.
Sir, I repeat my question. How do you see the future of Taliban, Indo-Taliban relationship, assuming that Taliban is going to last for a long time?
Well, thank you. You're so skeptical.
I've learned it from you.
No,
I have learned to be diplomat now.
no. Diplomacy consists in doing what you can with those who are in power. Now, how long Taliban will last? I'm not a prophet,
Correct.
but I don't
Correct.
see any obstacle in the way of relations between Afghanistan and India improving. If both are keen on it, and as of now, both are keen on it. Afghanistan is very, very keen, and India also is keen for reasons which I've explained. And don't forget, Afghanistan was for a long time treated by Pakistan as its strategic depth. Now, thank God that is not the case. I don't want to see a war between Afghanistan and Pakistan. But if Afghanistan is asserting its independence vis-a-vis Pakistan, that's a very good thing. And as you know, in August 2021, when America left, Taliban took over. At that time, the mentor was ISI, State Intelligence of Pakistan. And Munir, Field Marshal now, well, he was the one who was in charge of it. But then something fell through. Why? My belief is that Pakistan was too overbearing. Oh, this Afghanistan, the little brother, has to comply with all our instructions. Now, the proud Afghans did not like it. So they fell out. You see? So there are many things for India, not only, as I said earlier, minerals. But we import used to import a lot of dry fruit from them. There is so much, and don't forget the cultural relations. So
You spoke about Afghan-Pakistan relationship.
hmm,
Somewhere down the line, are you actually hinting that we should be taking Pakistan's place in that relationship now?
I am not suggesting that we should be an alternative to Pakistan. I am drawing your attention to the fact that for many years, under Karzai and other presidents, we had a very strong relationship with Afghanistan. I told you about the parliament building and other things, hospital, this and that. So that relationship should continue. And let us not always be competing with Pakistan. We do what we have to do in our interest, and stemming from our worldview. And as we so substituting Pakistan.
Enemy is friend and all of that, the old cliche. So is that why we are trying to be friends with Afghanistan? Is that the reason why this friendship is so necessary?
I believe that the formula, enemy can be a friend. Well, let me put it this way. I'll say can be a friend. But the
Not should
formula
be.
that enemy is necessarily a friend, no, something is logically wrong there. But let us not, let us ask the fundamental question. Is it in our interest to have good relations with Afghanistan in the context of the region, in the context of our interests? Well, the answer is very clear. And again, I don't want to see a big war between Afghanistan and Pakistan. No, we don't want to see a war. And I don't expect either. You know why? Because Pakistan has recently signed a mutual defense treaty with Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia and you must have noticed Qatar also had counseled both parties, both Afghanistan and Pakistan, to cool down. So I don't expect a big war. But of course, there will be occasional skirmishes and all that. And then don't forget, Pakistan has the Air Force, F-16 and whatnot, and the Chinese. Afghanistan doesn't have an Air Force proper. So Afghanistan is a weaker party. So Afghanistan will not be interested in a big conflict, and Pakistan will not be permitted by the Saudis to attack Afghanistan in a big way. It's a question of engaging with the country, and which means engaging with the government of the day. Okay, that's point number one. Point number
Yes.
two is that you said it's very volatile and all that. I agree. But in politics and in diplomacy, you start from where you are. You cannot, you are where you are. You cannot change the ground realities immediately. But you certainly want to improve them. And in order to improve them, you have to engage. If you just say, we won't talk to you, let me give you an example. You told Pakistan, no talks till there is talks and terror don't go together. Then what happened? Again and again, terror attacks were there. So this business of no talks doesn't give you the intended results. You
Completely
have
agree.
to be talking. You have to be
Completely.
engaged.
What do you think about the current in Pak US relationship? The way Trump seems to be flirting with Pakistan, he seems to have a special love for the Field Marshal Asim Munir and so on and so forth. How do you see this relationship?
Well, there are a couple of aspects. One is that President Trump has some family business which he is promoting in a brazen way. His son was in Pakistan, met with Munir and with Prime Minister. It is not only cryptocurrency, it is also minerals and maybe something more than that. So family business is one angle. The other is that India has unnecessarily, what shall I say, alienated Trump. If you remember, during the air war between India and Pakistan, India gave such a strong response to Pakistan that it turned to the United States, "Uncle, now what shall I do?" And Uncle said, "Okay, you ask for a ceasefire," which Pakistan did. In other words, Trump was instrumental in making Pakistan ask for a ceasefire. And since India also did not want a big war, India wanted to make the point that terrorist infrastructure we will demolish. So India could have, between you and me, India could have acknowledged Trump's contribution. And there are many ways of doing it. India could have come out with a statement. Tell me, why didn't India come out with a statement immediately after Pakistan asked for ceasefire? Why didn't India say, Pakistan has asked for ceasefire, we are considering it? Because in India, some people did not want to accept it. Okay? Now, that is not the correct attitude. So, we unnecessarily, alienated Trump, and he's a very sensitive person. He's so fragile, his ego. And then our foreign minister went on repeating, "Oh, Trump had nothing to do with it." So that's not the way to treat. Now let's see what happens. Their all-powerful ambassador designate had come. And can you imagine an ambassador designate calling on the prime minister? It has never happened in the annals of diplomacy.
It is very easy to offend Trump. So what? The world should be now working towards a strategy that doesn't offend Trump. Is that how things are right now?
I'm not saying that it's not a question of yielding to him, to every demand, or only bothering about not offending him. It's a question of first understanding the man. Let me ask you, when Trump started his trade war, tariff war, why didn't the countries affected did not start talking to each other? How shall we handle this guy? Because they were all scared. Now, that sort of fear is not a good. Is not good diplomacy. So I don't think. And also, if you remember, did you watch Trump in Sharm el Sheikh? It was like a schoolmaster, headmaster. Others like students. He even took the attendance register. And all this Macron, Starmer, Merz, Chancellor, and the Secretary General of the United Nations, all being assembled there, keeping silent till Trump recognized them and having a word with them. No, he was holding court. Now, I'm so glad that Prime Minister Modi did not go there.
Yes.
So
yes.
I mean, I'm not suggesting that we should be so scared of him or do every bidding that. No, it's a question of understanding the man and how do you handle him in a way which is advantageous to us.
No, sir, but the fact remains that had we gone and accepted the fact that he was instrumental for, pushing Pakistan for a ceasefire, if you look at it from that perspective, if you say that and he is happy, and therefore we say it, does relationship work like this?
I'm not saying we should do that. We should have come out with a statement that Pakistan asked for ceasefire and we have agreed to it. And in this context, we recognize that America put pressure on Pakistan to ask for a ceasefire.
How do you see this region going ahead from here? Pakistan not having good relations with Afghanistan now, India trying to woo Afghanistan, US trying to woo Pakistan. How do you see things going ahead from here?
Well, there are many scenarios, so one cannot say which scenario will hold. But it is my hope that relations between Afghanistan and India will improve. And at some point of time, Pakistan will recognize the folly of having terrorism as a state policy and will approach India saying that no terrorism will be exported from Pakistan soil, at which point India should reinstate the Indus Water Treaty and enter into normal diplomatic relations with Pakistan.
You think you see this as happening in the near future, sir?
I said it is one of the scenarios. The other scenarios, the other scenario is India restarting the Sindoor, and then you see, we don't know where it will end.
Correct.
You know,
Correct. Correct.
and I don't expect Pakistan to start a war. It may against some terrorists, but I don't expect it to start a war.
Sir, will India stop oil imports from Russia under US pressure?
Well, I have seen President Trump's statement to the media. I have also seen what the External Affairs Ministry has said. So it is very difficult to predict anything. But, between you and me, what India has been telling America is that, listen, you want to sell us more oil, we are prepared to take it. And as you know, we are taking it at a political price, not at a commercially determined price. So America should be satisfied with it. But then, who can predict about Trump? But I don't expect India to eat the humble pie and stop buying oil from Russia, though it may buy less. But a complete stoppage, I don't expect.
Correct. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And as always, what a pleasure talking to you. Thank you, sir.